Hi, in this video I'm going to walk through an introduction to Steam and SteamVR. Steam is an application for downloading video games and virtual reality experiences. SteamPower.com is the website, and you can go here and download the installer and browse all the different titles they have. They release their own hardware and software to support a variety of games. And so pretty much any VR experience that you can work with can be found on Steam at this point, with the exception of some titles in the Oculus store. For our purposes, we have the HTC Vive devices in the studio, and so we will be using those and learning about Steam and SteamVR. So through this video, I'm going to talk about what SteamVR is and how to set it up. And in another video, I'll be walking through how to use the SteamVR plugin with Unity to build a scene that contains a set of functionalities available through the plugin. So I have Steam installed on this machine, and it looks like this. So I'm signed in under the CMCI.studio account, and I can see in the store here there's all kinds of games that come up. They're organized by different genres, and most of the titles we would be looking for to use the HMDs with, the Oculus, the HTC Vive devices with, would be under VR games and experiences. So you can go under here and browse different titles. Some things are free, some things cost money. But this is a good place to see what is available for which types of devices, to get a sense of what's new and kind of what people are talking about with respect to virtual reality. So currently on the studio computers, we have a couple applications installed. Tilt Brush is one of them. The Lab is another one. Google Earth VR, and a couple other titles. You can go back to the main store and just kind of see what's new. Library is going to have our things that have been downloaded. The community tab is if you were to go and engage with different aspects of the Steam community. If I go ahead and turn on all of our filters here, we also have Gravity Sketch installed at this time, which is a great kind of 3D modeling app. So the way you use this is you notice this little icon in the corner where it says Start SteamVR. That's because the SteamVR plugin is already installed just by connecting up an HTC Vive. And if I click that, it's going to launch the SteamVR panel. And we'll see it pop up here on the taskbar. And what we can see here are our controllers. I'm going to turn them on right now. And so we'll see those get connected up here, and it says controller active. So what we have here is our HMD, which is on the far left. And if I move it around in my space, then it shows that it's tracking. And the controllers show that they're tracking right here. And then these two squares are the base stations that are doing the tracking. And so currently this version is 1.15.19, and I'm sure in a future video I'll update this, but this is the current version. And initially when you get this set up, what you want to do is make sure you go through the room setup, or if you need to reset the system for any reason, you can go back through the room setup. And so I'll click on room setup. And this should only need to be done one time unless you change the room around or want to just work through setting it up a second time. So in the studio, we'll have it set up for this room scale size experiences. Currently, I'm going to set it up for standing. So I'll click on standing only. And so it kind of walks you through. You basically establish tracking by holding the headset where the base stations can see it. You click next. You stand holding it straight towards the monitor that you're using it on. And you say calibrate center. And then you set it down on the table or on the floor and follow the instructions. Currently I have this about 30.5 inches above the floor, but you might place yours on the floor, in which case it would be 0. Click calibrate floor. And then at this point it's ready to go. In the setup that involves the room, so if I click on room setup, in the setup that involves a larger play area, which is room scale, you end up drawing out how you set up the room. And so I'll make a second video for that, but it's pretty self-explanatory to follow the instructions. So once you're set up, I can click on display VR view, and if I pick up my headset and start to move it around a little bit, we will see what the headset sees. And I can see one of the controllers in front of me. And so this is the kind of view that you have once you get into the headset. And I'm just previewing it right now through the VR view on screen here. And so what's kind of nice about this little viewer here is you can move it around on your screen and keep it up, or put it on a second screen and have it available for somebody outside of the experience to watch. And you can kind of toggle through these options here. I could dock it on the bottom of this, or I can pop it back out and see. And so once you have the HMD set up and on your head, you can, if you press the bottom button on the Vive, which is the two little stacks on the bottom above the green light, if you press that, it's going to bring up your library, and you can kind of go in and use the trigger and click around and navigate and click on any of these to go into the app and start it up. And so currently this one I just turned on is Gravity Sketch. And so let's see if I resume so you can kind of see what it sees. Pretty cool. And to get out of it, I basically hit escape and exit. And then it returns me back to my home location once it finishes closing out. So through this menu on screen, I can navigate sort of the settings through here. and it looks like this. And it's much easier to see this once you're actually connected up in the HMD. But this panel is identical to the settings that you would find under the SteamVR app here and under the SteamVR settings. So there's sort of a lot of the typical things that you would find, things like background and kind of a grid, bounds that you run into once your play area is set up for a larger play area instead of a standing position only. The controllers, you can edit properties of the controllers. Most of the time you don't need to do anything there. Under the video settings, you can change some of the different video features. Same with audio. Camera, if you want to turn on the front-facing camera on the HMD for some reason. And then kind of start up and shut down options. There's also some more advanced settings that you can explore, but you don't really need to. It's just kind of it's an option. For most things, you can leave these at the defaults. And so let's see, display VR. Within this app, like I said, you can get to just by kind of clicking and going into the library, you can get to a version of the Steam download store in here, but most of the time it's easy enough to just go back into the Steam application like this and browse for titles and look for free downloads, or go back to the library here and try any of the downloads that there are available already. So that's all I have for this video. In the next video, we will go through actually setting up SteamVR in a Unity application.